Well, we've seen a number of different motivations. One is definitely speed to market and competitiveness, and really we've seen in some of the digital native companies, the kind of traditional internet or social media companies, where they've had tremendous success the last few years by becoming a platform and really letting the creativity of others open up business opportunity. And so we're starting to see more traditional companies realize that if they want to be relevant and if they want to trigger their own growth, that they've got to think more like a platform and less like a monolith. Well, it's thinking about how do you get others to create on your behalf. If go back to the iPhone story, which is talked about quite often. Think about it this way: Apple developed a dozen apps, yet there's almost 1 million on the platform, and they get 30 cents on the dollar for everyone that gets created. That shows the power of that kind of effect. And so companies realizing that unleashing the creative energy of the entire marketplace versus hoping to think that you can have all the creative energy yourself. First and foremost, you're seeing tremendous uptake in the telecom sector, right? The carriers, the network providers, because again, the names, it's in their title, network, right? They need the power of the network because in the end, they need more handsets, right? Even though what was a handset 10 years ago is now your car or your glasses or a drone flying overhead. Who knows what that quote unquote handset is, but they need to compete on the ability to be the network of choice. And so for them, it's the difference between market share growth and market share decline. So absolutely putting a lot of energy into this marketplace and really unlocking as a competitive differentiator. Starting to see some of the leading companies in oil and gas starting to recognize that to really run the oil field of the future or the gas field of the future, that it's not, again, a single company, but a ecosystem of service providers, and that if they can't get onto a digital platform, they can't be agile enough, they can't go with the ebbs and flows of the market, which is absolutely critical given the capital intensity of their business. So those are both examples, I think, of companies leaning forward in this digital transformation and API domain. So telco and oil and gas, I think, are some of the leaders. I think traditional, like digital retail, total leader. I think traditional retail, still trying to figure it out, right? If you look at some of the world's biggest retailers, they're still trying to figure out what it means and how they become a platform because they're not used to that concept. So that's one where I think there's room for growth. One of the most important things is recognize that while they have millions of customers, for the customer there's only one of them, right? And they have to recognize that customer is going to expect to interact with them on their mobile device, in their car, on their Xbox, right? Through a website, through their physical store, and realizing that for the customer, it's only one transaction and it's only one continuous dialogue and not a series of channels. And what we find is that some traditional organizations are still organized around channel, and as a result, the experience and the transaction are disparate and it's not seamless. And so what they have to figure out is how to break through and make it seamless. And in fact, there was a case study presented today, Walgreens seeing multiple times increase in revenue per customer for the multi-channel customer over the single channel customer, so they get it, and they're fully on board with this whole API revolution. Of course, it's the raw technology, as you said. I think part of it is also understanding the dynamics, because again, for a lot of large enterprises, they're used to command and control, right? Everything's got to be bulletproof, right? Chet talked about in his chat about carrier grade, right? So the technology has to be, bulletproof and carrier grade, but at the same time, that doesn't mean you have to constrain the development process that way. That if the technology's robust, then the development process can be more flexible, more agile, more organic, and getting your head around those kind of almost diametrically opposed concepts, I think that is the mindset shift that organizations have to work themselves through. The advice I would have is, pick a target, right? Pick a business process, a domain. It can be internal or external, but pick something and really use it as a learning case, right? Really put the full effort in, not dabble, because that, just playing around with stuff isn't necessarily going to lead someplace, but set some real objectives, real goals. AT&T talked about how they set a goal that they wanted 10 billion API transactions a month by the end of this calendar year in an 18-month period, and they're getting close, right? They really set a target, because nothing motivates and galvanizes the organization like a target. So I think it's pick one domain so you've got clarity and focus, and then also set some stretch goals so that people are motivated and they've got an ambition, and they have bring a lot of positive energy to it. The kind of brass tacks advice that I have for that is find a business owner, big or small, with ambition. Find somebody who's looking to get their boss's job or looking to move up the corporate ladder, because when you mix ambition with technology and opportunity, you get someone who's knows that their career in some respects depends on the outcome, so they're going to go in and they're going to fight through the organizational barriers, they're going to knock down the walls, they're going to get it done, because the next rung on the ladder for them is dependent on success. And I think that sometimes, even if it doesn't have to be the CEO, that's great if it is, but even if it's someone at a divisional level, you find that one person with a burning passion to make a career move, hitch your wagon to their train, and that's where you can really find, because they're going to move heaven and earth to get it done, because that's their ambition. And I think that's because what happens is once they've done that, everyone else realizes, whoa, they got ahead by adopting, in this case, an API strategy and an open innovation strategy. To be successful, I need to as well. And you actually see viral propagation within the enterprise. Well, I think we're starting to see a real mindset shift towards more open innovation, right? More collaborative, dynamic partnerships, ones that are fit for purpose, but that involve traditional and non-traditional partnerships. And I think that and you've seen companies like P&G that literally wrote the book on it and have made billions of dollars, by embracing a collaborative partnering approach to innovation. And I think that success in part is fueling both the business mindset of open innovation, which then drives the demand for the enabling technology, which brings us right back to Apigee. For Accenture, the Apigee partnership is just fantastic, because it's the combination of our industry knowledge and experience and delivery strength with just the market leading technology platform. And it's that powerful 1-2 punch, if you will, that really helps our clients both unlock the power, but also unlock it quickly and effectively, right? And so I think that's the power for us and for our clients. The synergies again come from knowing that through the collaboration that we have, that they are getting really the A team when it comes to seeing that their deployment is done and done well.